folks, it's Graham here. I've been lucky enough to get myself out for another wild camp. We're in the Fjern Hills. We're heading for the English-Scottish border, and not sure where we're going to camp yet. We might camp on a little summit in Cairn in England, or we might camp in a Hillfort in Scotland. I think we do need some more shelter because the wind is horrendous. This is quite a flattish, it's not a difficult walk, but it's been hard graft because the wind's just been pushing in our faces, trying to push us back to the car the whole way. This area of the Cheviot feels absolutely remote, and it's really gorgeous. It's been a great walk in. There's a little building up there, a little stone cottage. Don't know if you can see it. Make a good bothy that. Apart from the wind, it's been an absolutely gorgeous day. It's just lovely bit up in the hills. Not a hint of rain or anything. This uphill section's tough going. When you think about it, the whole mass of the earth, the entire planetary body, its gravity is trying to pull me down, and all I've got is my little quads and calves against all that to get uphill. Also, I'm not as fit as I used to be. Doing the last little push now to the summit Cairn in England. We were thinking of camping at first, but it's so windy, I don't know how good it'll be at the top of the camp. We'll have to see in a few minutes. So bad. First thing Adrian said was, I'm not camping here, and I agree. It would just be hellish all night with a tent up here. There's the trees there, and that wall that's to the left leading up to them is the boundary between England and Scotland. So I'm not sure where we're going to end up. I'm thinking maybe over the wall in Scotland. It's going to offer a bit of shelter, but we'll see. So we've ended up in Scotland, and immediately the wind has dropped. Scottish weather's just better. Either that or those trees there. Those trees are providing a bit of shelter. I think that, I'm not sure, I think that stone wall there is the English-Scottish border. There weren't any border guards or checkpoints, so we just, you know. We had a mooch around in Scotland looking for a good pitch, and it was just as blowy there and really exposed. So we're back in England now, but not too far in England. This wall here is the Anglo-Scottish border. So if we get rumbled, I've only got to move my tent, you know, 4 foot that way. But I'm going to pitch my tent here. It's sheltered by this wall, and on that side it's sheltered by a big band of trees, big plantation. But there's a clean patch between the wall and the trees. So even if, you know, the wind really picks up and trees start falling, we're in a space here where we're very safe. So let's get the tent up. I've got a new tent to pitch. It's the Fjern Gokkota, and I'm really excited to try it out. Here's a tip for you. I've been walking in an insulated jacket and it's got a bit damp on the inside, so I've put it inside out and I'm going to walk around a bit in the wind just to dry it off, and then I'm going to put it in my schnozzle and use it as a pillow. Bloody zips on the inside, I can't get it down. Don't follow my tips. There we go, we've got it. first thing I noticed about this tent was that it comes in a bag that opens at the side, so it's much easier to pack the whole thing away. So it's that new, it's still got the label on. In order to buy this tent, I had to get over my natural wariness for inch pitch first, especially in this county where we do get a lot of rain. But I've got another tent to pitch in our first, the Mountain Hardware Sprite, and that's been a great tent, easy to pitch, and I honestly don't see that as being a real problem anymore. That's the Fjern Gokkota fully pitched, and look, I've got to admit, it doesn't look like the best pitch ever, but I'm still liking this tent. It's very light, it's only 1.1 kilograms, and that's with the bag, the pegs, everything included. And it is on a very bumpy, lumpy pitch, and it's the first time I've pitched it outside, so no doubt I'll get better at that. It's a great colour as well for Northumberland. I mean, I always think the hilly sand colour integrates best into the landscape, but this isn't bad at all. It looks pretty good beside the wall. I made a little modification here where I thought that wasn't quite long enough to get a peg into, so I've pegged it. I put a little bit of extra guy line on. On the inside, it's got a nice mesh pocket at either end, so whichever end you sleep, you've got a mesh pocket by your head. And I mean, look at how lumpy it is. Underneath here is like a big mound of grass. It's actually going to make a pretty nice pillar. Got to look at the good side of everything. Look at it. And the only slight modification I made is to put a washing line up here, because I'm always scared when I take my glasses off, I'll either lose them or I'll lie on top of them and squash them. So I like a washing line for my glasses, and maybe to hang a light up as well. It's quite a narrow tent, but as long as there's good vestibule space, that is fine by me. And it's almost an advantage, because it means you've got less chance of rolling off your air mat. Obviously, I'll hold off a proper opinion for now, because first time I've used it. But you know, I think it's canny so far. Time for a hot chocolate. I think I might have got this from Malmaison last year when I went to celebrate my wedding anniversary. Cheers everyone. Love a cup of hot chocolate when I'm out and about now. I think it's my go-to drink instead of a coffee. Ah, lovely. I've got an old favourite cook tonight. I've got a Barnsley chop from Moorhouse Farm Shop. If you're gonna have a chop, just have a chop, do you know what I mean? And this is a mixture of salt, thyme, smoked paprika and something else I can't remember, which is mad because I just put it together this afternoon. Gonna taste good though. Hi folks, I'm all cosy in the tent now. I've got my dry merino wool socks on. I've got my little candle lantern lit. I've got my montane mitts here if my hands get cold, and I've got my Icarus montane jacket wrapped up in my schnozzle, which makes a brilliant pillow, so I'm all very, very happy for the night. We're passed by Eccles Cairn today, which is a little summit overlooking the Border Ridge with a cairn on top, and I've been digging around in me Northumbrian history and folklore books and on Tinternet and stuff, trying to find something about where it got its name from, and there's nothing out there. So if you know anything about Eccles Cairn, I mean, leave us a comment and let us know, because I'd be interested. Eccles it's a really old word for like a church. It comes from the Latin, and it's where you get ecclesiastical from. But you know, obviously a church was never built on that summit, and maybe it was the site of a church, but more than likely it was, you know, maybe somebody preached there, or it was named after a religious sort of person. I have absolutely no idea, but if you can dig up something, let me know. Eccles Cairn on the summit, see what you can find. I couldn't find much. I've also got a nice can of beer to drink. I'm by no means a teetotaler, but I find myself drinking less and less on wild camps these days. So this is a nice non-alcoholic hazy IPA, so I'm going to try for the first time now. I'm getting moonbeams dappling the flanks of a deer as it strolls quietly through a winter forest, and parsnips. It's good. Right, I'm going to chill out, listen to a Bigfoot podcast, listen to the sounds of the night, and mind you can hear the wind. We're pretty sheltered, so the tent's not moving much apart from the front door, which I think it needs to be pitched better. It's a bit flappy, but you can hear the trees roaring, but they're 50 yards that way. We're going to be fine, and I don't think the wind's that strong. It's not going to tear trees down. I think we're only, I mean, I haven't got a kestrel or a anemometer, but I think we're looking at 20 to 30 miles an hour, which is pretty strong, but I think we'll be okay. So finish me beer, Bigfoot podcast, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Morning folks. I had some weird dreams last night. I dreamt that someone had stolen my camera and left a baby in its place, like a baby in the middle of a tent, complete with nappy and that. And I didn't know what to do with the baby, and for some reason I'd lined the inside of my tent with hedgehog shells, which doesn't make any sense, because A, hedgehogs don't have shells, and B, if they did, they would be like spiky and uncomfortable. And then I saw some baby hedgehogs playing outside my tent, but I couldn't record them because someone had stolen my camera. And then I decided I wanted to be a ballet dancer, because I'd watched Billy Elliot, so I went and found out the local ballet teacher, who was like a schoolmistress called Miss Gygax, and we got on really well. So it kind of tickled me last night that we got shelter from a wall on an ancient border between two once warring kingdoms, and I suppose for that shelter I've got two people to thank. I've got Henry III of England and Alexander II of Scotland, who signed the Treaty of York in 1273, that more or less stipulated even what the modern border is today, apart from Berwick. That's changed hands a few times. But it's funny how when you're out in the hills and it's just the echoes of history all about you, and we got shelter from those echoes from 1273 last night. We've got an absolutely fabulous walk out here, guys. Look at that. The sun coming in low over the Cheviots. Everything's in the shades of grey and mean? And it just remains to say thanks for coming along last night, and I hope to see you on the next one.